All right, the Detroit Lions just made a signing with former Washington Commanders cornerback Nick Whiteside. All right, bringing you the goodies here as the Detroit Lions are making moves, man. Look, they're leaving no stone unturned right now as they prepare for this upcoming NFL season. This is a move clearly aimed at adding some depth right now to the training camp for the summer. It's competition in the cornerback room. The Lions have signed, the former Washington Commanders cornerback and UFL standout Nick Whiteside for no other purpose right now than we need camp bodies. And the 25-year-old Whiteside, who is a product locally of Saginaw Valley State University, was present at today's practice. He was wearing number 38, as been reported by some of the guys on the ground there. And look, it's his time to fly in the Motor City, right? He's getting another opportunity. And this is also in the wake of the release of Stanley Thomas Oliver. So kind of a coordinating move here. Now, from Avondale to the NFL, Whiteside definitely has a journey. And I want to highlight it for you just a little bit here. Whiteside's path to the NFL is a testament to his perseverance and his adaptability. He was a graduate of Avondale High School. He initially entered college as a wide receiver prospect, which is interesting. The guy, he knows both sides of the football, which tend to lends better to corners transferring to receivers as opposed to the other way around. This transition, though, at cornerback at Saginaw Valley in 2018 was a move that really shaped his career, or at least the future of his football career. Over the 4 seasons with the Cardinals, he established himself as a defensive force and amassing some fairly impressive stat lines. Again, I understand the competition here is fairly low at the GLIAC level, but 131 tackles, 26 pass breakups, and 12 interceptions in only 43 games. It's pretty impressive stuff. Pretty stellar performance. It earned him, though, a All-American honors in both 21 and 22 in Division II. It solidified his status as one of the top defensive backs in the Division II football ranks. He was also named the GLIAC Defensive Back of the Year in 2021. It further highlights and demonstrates his dominance, at that level, which I think when you look for guys that are playing at a lower tiered system, they need to dominate. If you ever think for one moment that they're going to be able to make it at the next level into the NFL, they need to dominate, and that's exactly what he did. He also overcame a lot of adversity and some injuries, had some resilience here that it speaks to why he's in Detroit, I think. His college career had some challenges. He suffered a torn Achilles at the end of the 21 season. So as soon as he's named Defensive Back of the Year, he ends the season with a torn Achilles. That's got to be the biggest slap in the face as a player. I couldn't imagine how that feels. But he did display some pretty remarkable resilience. He worked tirelessly to recover from the injury and return to the field. He managed to play in 10 games in 2022. He recorded 30 tackles and had 2 interceptions. Really proved his determination, right? That he wanted to play this game. He needed to come back. He needed to finish what he started. Unfortunately, though, that season also was cut short as he broke his foot in the final game of the year. But despite all of this, the talent, the potential, it was there. And NFL scouts, they had him on the radar. So his NFL beginnings, they started in Washington following his collegiate career. He entered the 2023 draft. He went undrafted. He was undeterred, right? He still went to work. He signed with the Washington Commanders in May of 2023. And during his first opportunity to compete at the NFL level, he spent the majority of that season on the practice squad. He was elevated to the active roster at least for 2 games that year. I think it was the final 2 games. And during that brief stint, he logged 28 snaps in special teams and in the defense, gained valuable experience, clearly, showcased his potential to contribute at the NFL level, and then Washington released him late August of 2024, which kind of opened the door for his next opportunity, which was kind of a little bit of a rewind. He went backwards. He went to the UFL to play for the St. Louis Battlehawks. And if you've been following the UFL at all, you know that the Battlehawks are one of the toughest teams in that league. So he pursued a career there in December of 2024. He signed with the Battlehawks. It was a fairly significant step for him, right, to continue on his career with some better competition. And In the 25 UFL season, which just closed a couple of months ago, he appeared in 11 games. He played a key role in their league-leading 8-2 campaign last season. 20 tackles, 4 PBUs, and 1 fumble recovery on the season. Really demonstrated that versatility and that fight, man, that fight to get back to the field and continue to compete. It really solidified his status as a football player. Now, what does he bring to the Lions? That's the biggest question, right? I think he's got a proven track record of success at multiple levels. He's competed at a high level. I mean, he has a 2-time Division II All-American honors. His 12 interceptions in 43 college games is pretty impressive. And it highlights his ball hawking skills, which I think is probably the best thing that he has coming into the Lions is he has a knack for finding the football. Now, he still is relatively inexperienced by NFL standards. And his time with the Commanders, I mean, it did give him some valuable experience and exposure to the league, but he's still pretty raw. Obviously, his position with the Lions is depth. You're in the middle of summer, training camp. It's depth. The Lions need some bodies, but he has an opportunity to compete for a role on special teams. My final take on this guy is, you're talking about a small town Michigan, kid, all the way, leading it into the NFL, right? He comes from a small town is what I'm trying to say. And he makes it all the way to the NFL. That's an inspiring story as it is, right? The perseverance, the dedication, a player with a very compelling backstory, having to go through the perseverance of injuries, right? That's the Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes way, a guy that fights and doesn't give up. So I'm glad to see that he's finally getting another opportunity. Honestly, don't know much about the guy other than what I've prepared today. But man, this is the Detroit Lions exploring all avenues. They want every player that is willing to go through something like this on this squad to continue to fight for this team. So he's going to fit in well. We'll see how long he lasts, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck. So welcome to the squad, Mr. Nick Whiteside. We'll see you guys later. Go One Pride, Detroit Lions. Take care. Bye-bye.